The Federal Emergency Management Agency is warning North Carolinians about missing.
FEMA just updated their official emergency preparedness guidelines, and buried in their 47-page document are 15 specific items they desperately want every American household to stockpile. But here's what they're not telling you. They know something's coming, and they can't save everyone. When Hurricane Katrina hit, FEMA's response was a disaster. Thousands of people waited on rooftops for help that came too late. When Texas froze in 2021, the government told people to layer up, while families literally froze to death in their homes. The harsh reality? When disaster strikes, you're on your own for the first 72 hours minimum, often much longer. FEMA knows this. That's why they quietly released this list of must-have items that could mean the difference between life and death. In this video, I'm going to break down all 15 items FEMA is begging you to keep in your home, why they're critical, and how to get them without breaking the bank. Before we dive into the items, you need to understand why FEMA created this list in the first place. It's not about convenience, it's about survival when all normal systems collapse. See, FEMA learned some hard lessons over the past 2 decades. Every major disaster, hurricanes, earthquakes, ice storms, cyber attacks, follows the same pattern. The first 72 hours are chaos. Communication networks fail, roads become impassable, and emergency services get overwhelmed. But here's the kicker. Most disasters now last way longer than 72 hours. The 2021 Texas freeze lasted a week. Puerto Rico, after Hurricane Maria, months without power. And experts are warning that cyber attacks on our power grid could leave entire regions dark for weeks or even months. FEMA's response capacity hasn't grown, but the threats have multiplied. They know they can't be everywhere at once, so their new strategy is simple. Make sure you can survive without them. This isn't fear-mongering. This is reality. The government agency responsible for disaster response is literally telling you not to count on them. That should tell you everything you need to know about what's coming. So let's get into these 15 items, starting with the most critical ones that most people get completely wrong. Item number 1, and this will shock you, isn't just water. It's 1 gallon of water per person per day for at least 3 days. But FEMA's new guidelines quietly recommend 2 weeks' worth. Do the math. That's 14 gallons per person. For a family of 4, you need 56 gallons of water stored in your home right now. Most people think a few cases of bottled water is enough. Wrong. You need water for drinking, cooking, sanitation, and hygiene. FEMA knows that dehydration kills faster than starvation, and contaminated water causes disease outbreaks that overwhelm hospitals. Item number 2, non-perishable food for at least 3 days, but again, FEMA quietly suggests 2 weeks minimum. We're not talking about a camping trip here. You need 2,000 plus calories per person per day, and it has to be food that requires no cooking, no refrigeration, and minimal water. Canned goods, energy bars, dried fruits, nuts, peanut butter. Avoid anything that makes you thirsty or requires preparation. FEMA learned from Katrina that people were dying not from lack of food, but from eating the wrong foods that accelerated dehydration. Item number 3, medications. This one's critical because most Americans are on prescription drugs, and pharmacies shut down fast during emergencies. FEMA wants you to keep at least a 30-day supply of all prescription medications, plus basic over-the-counter drugs like pain relievers, anti-diarrheal medication, and any chronic condition treatments. But here's what FEMA doesn't tell you. Many prescription drugs lose potency over time, and doctors are reluctant to prescribe extra. You need to rotate your supply and have backup plans for critical medications. Item number 4, flashlights and extra batteries. But not just any flashlight. FEMA specifically recommends LED flashlights because they last longer and burn cooler. You need 1 flashlight for each person, plus extras for each room of your house. Here's the mistake most people make. They buy cheap flashlights that break when you need them most. FEMA knows that darkness equals danger. No light means injuries, accidents, and psychological stress that can break families apart during crisis. Item number 5. Battery-powered or hand-crank radio. This isn't about entertainment, it's about life-saving information. When cell towers go down and internet fails, radio is often the only way to get emergency updates, weather alerts, and evacuation orders. FEMA specifically wants radios that can receive NOAA weather radio broadcasts. These carry official emergency information that could save your life. Solar-powered radios with phone charging capability are even better. They keep working when batteries run out. Item number 6. Portable phone chargers and power banks. Your phone isn't just communication. It's your flashlight, your radio, your camera for documenting damage, and your connection to help. But a dead phone is useless. FEMA recommends multiple charging options: battery packs, car chargers, and solar chargers. When Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico, people hiked for hours just to find somewhere to charge their phones. Don't be one of those people. Item number 7. Emergency blankets and sleeping bags. FEMA learned from Texas that hypothermia kills fast even in climate-controlled homes. When power fails, temperatures inside can drop to dangerous levels within hours. Space blankets are cheap and compact, but real emergency blankets designed for survival are better. You need enough to keep everyone warm if heating fails for days or weeks. Layering is key. Multiple thin layers trap heat better than one thick layer. Item number 8. Duct tape and plastic sheeting. This sounds random, but FEMA knows that emergency shelter modifications can save lives. Broken windows, damaged roofs, gas leaks. Duct tape and plastic can create barriers against wind, water, and contamination. During chemical spills or radiological emergencies, sealing a room with plastic and tape creates a protective environment. It's not permanent, but it buys you time until help arrives or you can evacuate safely. Item number 9. Fire extinguisher and smoke detectors with fresh batteries. Fires spike during disasters because people use alternative heating, cooking, and lighting methods they're not familiar with. Candles tip over, generators malfunction, electrical systems spark. FEMA knows that fire departments get overwhelmed during major emergencies. Response times stretch from minutes to hours. A small fire you could have stopped becomes a house fire that kills your family. One fire extinguisher per floor, minimum. Item number 10. Sanitation supplies. This is where most people's preparedness plans fall apart completely. When water systems fail, toilets stop working. When garbage pickup stops, waste piles up. When sewage systems back up, disease spreads fast. FEMA wants you to stockpile toilet paper, feminine hygiene products, soap, hand sanitizer, bleach for disinfection, and plastic bags for waste disposal. You also need a plan for human waste when toilets don't flush, portable camping toilets, or even just buckets with tight-fitting lids. This isn't glamorous, but poor sanitation kills more people in disasters than the actual disaster. Cholera, dysentery, hepatitis. These diseases explode when sanitation fails. Item number 11. Basic tools and supplies. FEMA specifically mentions manual can opener, utility knife, hammer, screwdrivers, and adjustable wrench. When hardware stores are closed and repair services aren't available, you need to fix things yourself. Water leaks, broken windows, stuck doors, gas shutoffs. Basic tools let you make emergency repairs that could save your property and your life. Don't forget work gloves, safety glasses, and a crowbar for debris removal. Item number 13. Cash in small bills. This one surprises people, but FEMA knows that electronic payment systems fail during emergencies. ATMs don't work without power, credit card machines go down, banks close. Cash becomes king for buying last-minute supplies, paying for services, or even bribing your way out of dangerous situations. Keep at least $500 in small bills, ones, fives, and tens. Desperate people can't make change during emergencies. Item number 14. Important documents in waterproof container. FEMA learned that people survive disasters only to face financial ruin because they can't prove who they are or what they owned. You need copies of insurance policies, bank account records, identification, medical records, and contact information. Store originals in a waterproof, fireproof container and keep copies in a separate location or cloud storage. After disasters, FEMA sees people who lose everything because they can't prove their insurance claims. Don't let paperwork destroy your recovery. Item number 15, matches in waterproof container. Fire means cooking, heating, signaling for help, and sterilizing water. But wet matches are useless. FEMA specifically wants waterproof matches or multiple lighters stored in waterproof containers. Practice lighting fires safely in different conditions. When you're cold, hungry, and stressed, you need fire starting to be automatic. Backup methods like magnesium fire starters or steel wool and batteries can save your life when everything else fails.
Item number 15, complete change of clothing and sturdy shoes for each person. This seems obvious, but FEMA knows that disasters often happen when people aren't dressed for survival. Pajamas, flip-flops, and light clothing won't protect you from debris or walking long distances. Keep